My name is Jessica White, and my presentation is on intimate partner violence during pregnancy for CJ499 Issues in Justice Administration. So what is intimate partner violence? Intimate partner violence, defined by the World Health Organization, is behavior within an intimate relationship that causes physical, sexual, or psychological harm, including acts of physical aggression, sexual coercion, psychological abuse, and controlling behaviors. This definition covers violence by both current and former spouses and partners. Also, 1 in 3 women report having experienced physical, sexual, and/or psychological abuse by a partner in their lifetime. In the United States, we have had the most intimate partner homicides that include firearms. Studies estimate that about 68% of women killed by their partners, firearms were used. Also, African American women are more likely to be killed by an intimate partner than Hispanic or white women. Pregnant women usually interact with healthcare providers more, which can provide opportunities for screening and other approaches to help women who may be experiencing violence or be at risk of violence. So what about pregnancy? Women in the United States during pregnancy are most likely to die from intimate partner homicide rather than what is seen as the 3 leading causes of death during pregnancy. These causes are hypertensive disorders, hemorrhages, and sepsis. Also, studies show that during pregnancy, the rate of intimate partner death increased by twice as many as those who are not pregnant. Not only is intimate partner homicide the leading cause of maternal death during pregnancy, but also up to 1 year postpartum. In one study done based on race and ethnicity, those who are non-Hispanic Black, American Indian, Alaska Native, and other mixed races are twice as likely to experience intimate partner violence as those who are white, Asian, or Pacific Islander. Risk factors. There are many different risk factors for intimate partner violence. First is firearm ownership. Since 2010, intimate partner homicide due to firearms has increased 26%. 91.1% of intimate partner homicides are due to firearms. Second is technology-based abuse. This is most likely to happen after the abuser and victim separate and the abuser still tries to contact the victim via technology. Third is protection orders. Anywhere from 2.6% to 23% of intimate partner homicides involve a protection order. Between 28.2% and 34.3% of protection orders are violated. Fourth is non-fatal strangulation. A history of non-fatal strangulation can be associated with 7.48 times higher odds of intimate partner homicide later and get strangled once again. Fifth is indigenous people. Indigenous people are victimized at a higher rate than other groups. In 2016, 280 women were killed in 71 different cities. To continue our list of risk factors, 6th is same-sex relationships. Those in same-sex relationships experience intimate partner violence the same amount or more than those in heterosexual relationships. 7th is transgendered individuals. Studies have shown that transgender individuals are killed at higher rates. This is even higher if they are a part of a minority, for example, Latinas. 8th is foreign-born victims. Due to those who are foreign-born not having a support system, they are more likely to endure intimate partner violence and even death. 9th is male victims. Men tend to report intimate partner violence less than females, leaving them more vulnerable. 10th is military-involved victims. Studies have shown links between deployment and intimate partner violence. Lastly is rural victims. Research shows that rural intimate partner violence is more frequent and severe. All of these risk factors can involve pregnancy and postpartum, but how does male victims fall into this? Well, females can also be abusive, and with heightened emotions during and after pregnancy, they are more likely to be violent in actions and words. Firearm relinquishment laws. Firearm relinquish laws are laws that prohibit those with prior domestic violence to possess a firearm. There was a study done from 2010 to 2018 on how maternal homicide rates are affected by firearm relinquish laws. This study had the incident be done during pregnancy or up to 1 year postpartum. Through this study, 16 states had no firearm prohibition laws, 23 states had at least one, and 11 states implemented at least one during the study. The study found that pregnancy-associated homicide across all states through the entire study was 2.87 deaths per 100,000. Deaths that involved firearms was 1.81 per 100,000. States that had at least one law had an average of 2.31 deaths per 100,000. States that had no laws had an average of 3.97 deaths per 100,000. Risks of intimate partner violence. Intimate partner violence can cause many different risks. These may include maternal health problems, preterm birth, low infant birth weight, death, chronic health conditions, female reproductive disorders, sexually transmitted diseases, and substance abuse disorders. Screenings. Most women interact with clinicians frequently while pregnant and also postpartum. This creates an easier way to find warning signs of intimate partner violence and homicide. Since 2012, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists have recommended that regular intimate partner violence screenings be done during pregnancy and postpartum. A study done from 2016 to 2019 showed that 3.5% of the sample who gave birth in the United States experienced physical violence from an intimate partner. Also, a majority of these individuals were from rural areas who identified as non-Hispanic Black, American Indian, or Alaska Native. They were also less educated, unmarried, had medicated childbirth, had an unintended pregnancy, and had higher proportions of clinical comorbidities. Trends. Not only can we see trends from what we have already talked about, but a study has been done to prove this. In 2023, there were 189 pregnancy-associated homicides. The rate of these was 5.23 deaths per 100,000, which has increased from 3.30 in 2018. Majority of these victims were Hispanic, Black, and non-Hispanic white. 45% of the victims were under 24 years old. 81% of crimes occurred with a firearm. 55% occurred inside the home, and 54% were currently pregnant. Also, in 2020, there were 3.87 per 100,000 homicides of women who were not pregnant and not postpartum but were of reproductive age. It was found that the risk of homicide victimization increased by 35% when a woman was pregnant or postpartum. The cost. In a study done from August 2016 to August 2018, they researched the cost of intimate partner violence. Out of 9,889 women, 280 reported experiencing intimate partner violence. Only 72 of those women, though, received support. The women who reported that they had experienced intimate partner violence also reported having a higher means cost than those who have not. For those who have, the cost is $12,762 versus $10,166. However, when the researchers adjusted the demographic and clinical factors, there was a bigger difference. Even with this, there was not a big difference found between babies born from intimate partner violence. The cost for babies were $4,971 versus $5,340. Recommendations. Several ideas have been brought forth to try and lessen intimate partner violence. First is law enforcement intervention. From 2010 to 2014, 39.6% of female victims were killed by a former partner, unlike men, who was at 3.9%. In the 3 years prior to the female's death, 91% had called police, and 44.9% ended in an arrest. Second is community service agencies and law enforcement working together. For example, in New York, officers and social workers perform home visits together for domestic disputes. This led to victims feeling better about calling if another incident happened. In terms of counselors, they need to continue to increase their knowledge of intimate partner violence due to victims possibly experiencing many different types of trauma. Victims can experience things like post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety, phobias, be suicidal, and more. These are the resources that I used for this presentation. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little more about intimate partner violence during pregnancy.